Welcome to this week's Pilates class. Today we're going to focus on a selection of exercises to help stretch and strengthen the spine. So we're going to begin lying on our back if you want to move into position. And your feet are going to be hip distance apart. We want to find our neutral spine, so we've got that little bit of an arch behind our lower back, top of the pelvis nice and parallel with the floor, arms just resting alongside the body. Gaze to the ceiling, and then we're just going to take a breath in through the nose. And we're going to breathe out through the mouth. So breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. So I want you to focus on a nice 3D breath, breathing into the sides and the back of the rib cage. And then as you exhale, start to draw the core in. So those abdominal muscles are pulling in like a corset, drawing in around the waist. So we inhale and exhale, activate through the core and the pelvic floor. Just a couple more breaths here, just relaxing the body and just focusing the mind. And then we're going to move into our imprint and release. So on your next exhale, I want you to just draw the lower back down towards the floor. And as you inhale, allow the pelvis to release forwards. So we exhale to lengthen through the lower back. And we inhale, releasing forwards. So use that breath to activate the abdominals. And inhale and release. Okay, so now we're going to move into a 4 breath pattern. So we take an inhale, we exhale, imprint, and now you're going to inhale and hold the position. On your exhale, you release. So we take an inhale, exhale to imprint, inhale, hold, exhale, release. 2 more, so we inhale, exhale, drawing that lower back down, using the abdominals to create the imprint, and release forwards. Last one, hold, and exhale, release back. So we're going to move into toe taps next. We're going to begin with the imprint, so we're going to take an inhale, on the exhale, draw the lower back down towards the floor. Bring one leg to tabletop. Now if you feel able to, bring the other leg up, otherwise just leave the other leg resting on the floor. So both legs to tabletop. Take an inhale, and as you exhale, you're going to lower one foot towards the floor. Just go as far as you can, keep the lower back stable. And then changing sides, so we exhale, take the foot to the floor, and inhale to come back up. So the focus here is on maintaining that imprint rather than trying to touch the floor. Better to maintain good technique throughout the exercise. So exhale, contract the core as you lower the foot down. So you're engaging those abdominals. And we're going to do 2 more on each side. Use that out breath to help get the stability. Last one, bring it back up, bring the feet back down onto the mat. So we're moving on to knee drops now. We want our pelvis to be in a neutral alignment with that little bit of a gap behind the lower back, top of the pelvis parallel to the floor. Place the hands alongside the body, feet should be hip distance apart. For this exercise we're going to begin with an inhale to prepare, and then as you exhale, controlling and lowering the leg down towards the floor. On the inhale, you bring the leg back up, and then you exhale to lower the leg towards the ground. You can place the hands on the hips to create greater awareness. We're going to move across to the other side now. So we inhale to prepare, exhale to lower. You want to make sure that the opposite hip is not lifting off of the mat. So use your abdominals to help create and get that control. 1 more. Lovely. Okay, so shuffle forwards now so that your feet are just off of the mat, ready for the leg slides. Still in a neutral alignment, hands on the floor, but again, if you want that greater awareness to make sure there's no movement at the pelvis, you can just place the hands on the hips. Gaze to the ceiling, and we're going to take a breath in through the nose and just slide the leg away. As you get to the end, flex the foot, point the toes to the ceiling, and then on your exhale, draw the abdominals in and pull the foot back towards the body. alternate legs. So we inhale, pointing through the toe, reach the leg away, flex the foot, and then on the exhale, draw the foot back in towards you. So point and reach that leg away, flex, bring the leg back in. Being aware that the spine is remaining in neutral throughout the exercise. Last one now, and then we're going to move into a reciprocal movement. So now we slide the leg away, flex the foot, control through the core, and then the other leg slides. So we point as the leg slides away, flex the foot at the end, and then repeat on the other side. So into the hip release now. Place the hands on the hips again to get that greater awareness, to make sure there's no movement through the pelvis side to side as you move through the leg. We're going to begin with an inhale and lower the knee towards the floor like we did in the knee drops. You then straighten the leg, lengthen it away, rotate at the hip joint, and then exhale, slide the foot back in towards you. So inhale, lower under control, straighten the leg, really reach that leg away. And then on the exhale, draw the core in, pull the foot back in towards you. One more on this side. Reach, reach, reach. And then exhale, draw it in. Changing legs now. So we inhale, lower the knee to the side, dropping it towards the floor. Straighten that leg. Rotate through the hip. And then draw the core back in, pulling the legs towards the body. Inhale, lower. Lengthen away. Rotate at that hip joint. And then exhale. Pull the core in, bring the leg back up. One more here, releasing through that hip joint, activating through the core. Lovely. We're going to move on to our side now, ready for the spinal rotation. So you're going to have the head resting down on the underneath arm, the arms bent, knees stacked on top of each other, hips stacked on top of each other, and just tummy pulling up and away from the floor. You're going to have the hand up on the head. We're going to do it this week with a bent elbow on the top arm. So the elbow is just pointing straight in front of the body. Make sure the shoulders are still stacked on top of each other. You don't want the shoulders sort of reaching forwards. Okay, you want to press that head into the top hand as you do the rotation on this exercise. And we're going to begin with an inhale. So we're lifting that elbow up towards the ceiling. On the exhale, we rotate over, gaze towards the elbow, take an inhale, hold, and then exhale and come back round. So we inhale, the elbow lifts up, push the head into the hand, exhale, open, take an inhale, hold, and then exhale to come back down. So inhale up, exhale over, inhale, stay, and then exhale, contract through the core to bring the body back down. Now rotate onto the other side. So again, resting that head on the underneath arm, feet in line with the hips, knees and hips stacked on top of each other, same for the shoulders, tummy drawing up and away from the floor. So you're pulling that belly button in towards the spine. Now the top hand goes on the head, and remember you're pushing the back of the head into the hand. So we're going to start on that inhale, lifting the elbow up towards the ceiling. We're going to exhale, rotating over, gaze to the elbow. Take an inhale, hold, and then exhale, activate the core, bring the body back around to that start position. So inhale up, really try to get some length between the rib cage and the hips. Breath in, nice 3D breath, and then exhale, rotate back around. One more on this side, so inhaling up, exhale, open, breath into the rib cage. Exhale, activate the abdominals, draw them in as you bring the elbow back down and around. So we're going to come onto our hands and knees now for the next exercise. Hands below the shoulders, knees are below the hips. Fan the fingers out nice and wide. Make sure that you're not arching through the lower back. You still want to be neutral here. So just draw the tummy in. So rib cage should be in line with the hips. And you want to lengthen the head away from the feet. So the head's not dropped down, but it's not looking up in front of you. So the crown of the head is lengthening away from the hips. We're going to begin on an inhale, and we're just trying to start moving our shoulder blades here. As I've mentioned previously, they can get quite locked, so we're just trying to generate a little bit more freedom, a little bit more mobility around the joint. So we're going to take an inhale and press through the hands, and then on your exhale, glide the shoulder blades towards the spine. So we inhale, pressing through the arms, keeping the arms straight, just a slight bend in the elbow, and then glide the shoulder blades back towards the spine. So it's a very small movement, looking to work lots of stabilizing muscles between the shoulder blades and the spine. These muscles can get quite lengthened, where we're using devices a lot more, and we want to create some more strength there. One more repetition. Lovely, and now come down onto your back for the next exercise. Still focusing on that shoulder stabilization. Now we want our feet hip distance apart. We want to have a neutral alignment through the spine, and our hands are resting on the floor. Try and stay nice and open through the front of the shoulders to begin. And we're moving into elevation and depression of the shoulders. So we inhale and just glide the shoulders up towards the ears, and then we exhale, lengthening the shoulders away. So we inhale, the shoulders come up, and exhale, draw the shoulders down towards the feet. Making sure we've still got that connection through our core, that our abdominals are active. And just focus on that Pilates breath, breathing in through the nose and out through a pursed lip. One more. Okay, so now staying open through the front of the chest. Arms up, hands are just shoulder distance apart. Maintaining neutral throughout the exercise, we're going to move into arm scissors. Take an inhale to prepare, and then on your exhale, separate the arms, moving them in opposite directions. Inhale, they come back to center, and then exhale, they separate. So here we want to make sure that the rib cage doesn't lift. We're keeping that connection with our core. Our abdominals are working to stabilize the spine. If I take my arm too far back, then my ribs will lift, and there's nothing going on within that abdominal area now. So that's another one that's incorrect. You want to really pull that rib cage down, draw everything in, and only work within your own range of movement at the arms. If you feel any movement in the spine, stop there, bring the arm back up to center. Following the same principles, we're going to move into our arm circles now. So arms come alongside the body to start. On the inhale, we bring the arms up towards the ceiling. We exhale as the arms come overhead, and then we circle the arms around. So we inhale, reaching the arms up. Exhale, control through the core, arms overhead, and circle the arms around. Use that breath to get that stability. Pelvic floors drawing in as well. Now change direction. We inhale, circle the arms out to the side. Bring them down alongside the body. And again, inhale around and exhale down. So really reaching those arms away and then lowering it back down. In the next exercise, we're going to look at head and cervical placement. The head's heavy, so when we're moving through things like flexion and extension, we want the head to be in a really strong and stable position on the spine. I'm just going to go through that with you now. So the next exercise is our head nods. Feet are hip distance apart, neutral alignment through the lower back, through the spine, arms resting on the floor alongside you. Head is also in neutral, so the gaze is towards the ceiling. You should have a nice, just gentle arch through the back of the neck. We're going to take an inhale and then just lengthen through the back of the neck, just gently nodding the chin down. And then as you exhale, you bring your gaze back up to the ceiling. So we're going to inhale and just lengthen through the back of the neck and then return to neutral. So it's a really small movement. If you just do 3 more of those. And I want you to almost focus about pushing the back of the head in towards the mat. And you should feel the muscles down the front of the neck start to activate. So we're going to inhale and nod the head. On the exhale, we flex up. Take an inhale, holding here, and then exhale to lower back down. So we inhale, head nod, exhale, flex. Take an inhale, hold, and exhale, lower back down. So you should be much more familiar with this exercise now. So really start to think about your technique, making sure that the pelvic floor, deep abdominals are active and engaged as you slide the rib cage up towards the hip. So you're maintaining that core connection throughout the exercise. Your pelvis and your lower back are remaining in neutral. What you don't want is as you come down for the pelvis to tip back. So really think about that ribcage slides towards the hips, gaze to mid-thigh, lower back down. And just be aware, make sure you're not creating any tension through the shoulders, trying to stay nice and open through the front of the chest. And if you get any tension in the head and neck, just bring the hands up to support it. It makes the exercise a little bit more challenging, but it will help you just to stabilise through the neck as well. We're now going to move on to our fronts to begin working on some spinal extensions. If you don't want to rotate around, feet hip distance apart. We want to maintain a neutral alignment here through the lower back. So focus on drawing the base of the pelvis towards the floor, pulling the belly button away from the mat and up and in towards the spine. For the first exercise, hands in front of the shoulders, elbows alongside the body. And think about the head lengthening away from the feet. To begin, we're going to take an inhale and stabilise through the shoulders. On the exhale, we lift up. Take an inhale, hold, and then exhale, lower and lengthen back down. So we're lifting through the upper middle back here, and the bottom rib stays down on the mat. Inhaling to come up. Inhale, hold, the ribs open, and then exhale, lower back down. So it's that inhale, stabilise through the shoulders. Exhale, lift, lengthen away from the feet. Take an inhale, hold, and exhale, lower back down. One more. Exhaling up. Inhale, hold, and exhale, lower back down. Now we bring the arms alongside the body, palms facing up towards the ceiling. Still making sure that we're stabilising through the pelvis, through the lower back. You shouldn't feel any tension across the lower back in this exercise. Take an inhale, rotate the arms. On the exhale, pull the head away from the feet. Long, low hover position this time. We're not lifting as much into extension. Breath in and hold. And then breath out, release back down, relax the shoulders to the floor. So we start with that inhale, rotating the arms, draw the shoulder blades towards one another. Exhale, lift. Take an inhale, stay, and then exhale, lower back down. So repeat that pattern, keep going with that breath pattern as you lift and as you lower. And just focus on that awareness of the lower back, of that core connection. Use the exhale to get the support from the abdominals. One more. Lower it back down under control and bring the hands up underneath the head. Breath in here, stabilising through the shoulders. Breath out, lift up, reach away, long, low, hover still. Breath in, hold, and then breath out, lower back down. So coming up, still keeping that bottom rib in contact with the back mat. Come up on the exhale, hold for the inhale, and then lower on the exhale. Breath in, exhale up, inhale, hold, and then exhale to lower back down. One more. Hands in front of the shoulders, push back into a shelf stretch. Take an inhale and then exhale, release. Inhale and exhale, release. Great, and we're going to move into a kneeling position now for the 100. So we're going to try something slightly different with our 100 this week. You want your knees to be around hip distance apart. You're going to bring your heels together, and then I want you to push forwards through the hips. Make sure that the tailbone is tucked under, so you're getting that nice neutral position through the spine. Abdominals drawing in, so you've got that strong connection. And by pressing into the heels, you're going to start to activate your glutes to help get a little bit more support and stability there. You want your shoulders to be nice and open and the arms reaching long. Try and think about the movement in this exercise coming from the shoulders as you move the arms backwards and forwards. So what I want you to do is think about preventing any movement through the body as you push forwards and backwards with the arms. So to begin, we're going to be pushing backwards through the hands, inhaling for 5, exhaling for 5 counts. So when you're ready, we're going to begin on an inhale. So inhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and exhale 2, 3, 4, 5. In 2, 3, 4, 5 and exhale 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 20, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 30, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 40, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 50, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 60, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 72, 3, 4, 5. Exhale 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 82, 3, 4, 5. Exhale 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 92, 3, 4, 5. Exhale 2, 3, 4, 5. That's your 100. Take an inhale and exhale, release. Great job, everyone. So we're going to come down onto the floor now for one leg circles for our next exercise. You've got 2 options here. We've tried both in the last couple of weeks, so do whichever one you prefer. You're going to have either one leg straight and then one knee bent with the knee directly above the hip, or you can have both knees bent with the other leg at a 90-degree angle above the hip. So take an inhale, bring the leg towards the other one, and then exhale around. Remember here, we're focusing on having that nice stable alignment through the lower back. So using that core and that short, sharp inhale, exhale to help then change direction. Having the hands just on the pelvis again to create that greater awareness and just help minimise movement there. Help you activate those abdominals a little bit better. And then bring the foot down. Bring the other leg up into the air. So it's that inhale, exhale. Short, sharp breath pattern. Imagine you're drawing a circle on the ceiling with the knee. And then changing direction. And then releasing the foot down. Next up is the spine twist. So you want to be in a seated position. If you have a block or a cushion, something you can just sit yourself up on, then do use it. It just helps to create a good alignment through the lower back and reduce any compression through the spine. So you just want those 3 natural curves through the spine as you sit nice and tall. You can either have your legs crossed or legs out in front, extended with the feet flexed. So again, I'm going to have my legs crossed just to help create that nice tall alignment through the spine. We're going to bring the arms in front of the body into a prayer position. I want you to activate the core, and remembering obviously when we do these rotations, it's rib cage leading towards opposite hip. So imagine the obliques contracting to rotate the body round from side to side. So hands in front of the body, just a little bit of pressure into the hands, but make sure you don't round too much through the upper back. You want to stay nice and open. And then just lengthen the head up towards the ceiling. You're going to take an inhale, and then as you exhale, one smooth rotation round. Take an inhale, hold, and exhale, come back to the front. So we're limiting rotation a little bit with this new position. We're going to inhale, exhale, rotate. You're trying to keep the head, breastbone in line as you rotate around. Bring it back to center. Take an inhale, exhale, nice smooth rotation, reaching around. Take an inhale, hold, bring it back and exhale to rotate the other way. Back to center on the inhale, exhaling to rotate. One more each side. And trying to lengthen up taller with each rotation here. Great job, and bring the hands down. So we're really going to focus on technique next in our single leg stretch. So we're just taking it back a stage from what we've done in the last couple of weeks. You want to lie down on your back. You're going to keep one foot on the floor, which means you maintain a neutral alignment through the spine. We're not imprinting at this stage. You're going to bring one leg up to tabletop and just bring the hands up behind the head. We're going to keep the head down to begin with and then lift after around 4 repetitions. So we're going to take an inhale, and then as you exhale, I want you to really lengthen and reach the leg away, nice and straight, pulling the kneecap towards the body. Bring the leg back in. So we're going to exhale, reach away, and inhale the leg back. Nice slow controlled movements, but making sure there's no movement through the pelvis and lower back. So core's active pelvic floor drawing in. From here we're then going to flex up with the upper body, same thing. Extend the leg out, nice long reach. And away. So exhale away, inhale in. Use that exhale to get a bit more of a connection through the core. And then bring that leg down, lower the head. Bring the other leg up to that tabletop position and then take that inhale to prepare. On your exhale, extend the leg away. Inhale back into that 90-degree angle at the knee. Again, using that breath pattern, make sure you're maintaining that neutral alignment. And then bring the leg back, flex up with the upper body into that ab prep position and extend the leg out. Putting that kneecap towards the body so we're getting some strength work through the quads as well. And then bring the leg back, lower the head down, bring the feet back down for the next exercise. So we're moving into obliques prep. We're staying in a neutral alignment through the spine. We're going to start with upper torso rotation, and then we're going to start to bring the legs in a little bit as well. So we're going to take an inhale. We're going to exhale, flex up to one side. Inhale back down. So it's that exhale, rib cage moving to opposite hip, just like in the spine twist. One more here. Now on your next one, as you rotate up, you're going to bring the leg up to tabletop and then lower it down as you lower the upper body. And then we're going to move across to the other side. Feet down at first. Exhale across. Inhale down. Exhale, rotate as you lift up. Inhale to lower. One more, then we're going to bring the leg in. So exhale up, the leg comes up. Inhale, lower it down. Making sure you're staying nice and grounded through the resting leg. Great, and bring it down. Release the arms down. They're coming alongside the body, ready for the shoulder bridge. So we're going to take an inhale, and then as you exhale, I want you to just squeeze the glutes, lift the hips up. Take an inhale, hold, and then exhale, hinge at the hips, lower yourself back down to the floor. So breath in, pressing in through the feet, activating the glutes, we lift up. Inhale, stay, and then exhale, hinge, and lower back down, take a breath in. Exhaling up. Inhale to hold, and then exhale to lower back down. One more. Activate those glutes, lift. Inhale, hold. Exhale, hinge and lower. Rotate round onto your front, and we're going to go into the heel squeeze. Head resting down on the hands, knees out to the edges of the mat. Remembering to push the base of the pelvis towards the floor, pull the belly button up towards the spine. Heels touching. This is the exercise where it's isometric, you won't see the movement, you're just pressing into the heels and releasing. So we take a breath in, on that exhale, squeeze the heels together, and inhale, release. So we exhale and push, activating through the glutes, and inhale to release. Just working with the breath, and remembering everything I was saying about activating the abdominals, pelvic floor, and keeping the pelvis nice and stable on the mat. Two more. Last one. And release. Okay, so you want to come onto your side now, ready for the side kicks. Your legs come slightly in front of the body, so they're about at a 45-degree angle. Your head is just going to be resting down on the underneath arm, hand in front of you, just on the mat for a little bit of support. And again, draw the tummy up and away from the mat like we did in the spinal rotation at the beginning. You're going to lift that top leg up so it's hovering at hip height. We're going to inhale, bring the leg forward for 1, 2 pulses. Then you're going to point through the foot, activate the glutes, bring the leg back, trying to keep the position through the upper body the same. So we inhale forwards for 1, 2, and exhale, extend, reach away with that leg as you bring it back. So we inhale, 1, 2, and exhale, reach core connection here. Use the glutes, open through the front of the hips. So we're lengthening those hip flexors, working those hip extensors as the leg comes back. One more. Okay, from here we're going to move into our next exercise, and then we'll do everything again on the other side. So feet in line with the hips, same position through the upper body. We're going to lift the top knee to hip height and then lower it down. So we're working the glutes here. You're going to push between the heels, activate, squeeze the glutes as you lift the leg up to hip height, and then inhale, control down. So the movement comes from the glutes, shortening. You're not lifting from the knee. So pushing between the heels, squeeze those glutes and lift that top leg just to hip height. You don't want to lift any higher than that. Okay, 2 more. And then bring the leg down. We're going to move into a bend and stretch. Now you've got 2 options here. You can have the bottom leg bent for a little bit more stability, or you can have both legs long to make the exercise slightly more challenging. You want to hover the leg at hip height. Again, make sure that core is working before you begin. And then you're going to bend the knee and bring it in front of the body. And then you're going to press away through the foot. Bring the leg back, point through the toe. So we inhale, the leg comes forward, and we exhale, press away, bringing the leg back in line with the hip. And we've got 1 more to do here. Great, and then we're going to bring the leg down, bring both legs together into our top leg adduction. So we're going to lift that top leg up, we're going to flex the foot, and bring it back down. So we inhale, lift up, and exhale to lower the leg. Really think about reaching the foot away from the head. So we're trying to again really open through the hips now. Press the foot down. 2 more. Great. And then release the foot down. Rotate round onto the other side, and we're going to do our side kicks to begin with. So feet come forward to that 45-degree angle, activate through the core, lift the abdominals towards that top rib, hand in front for that support, lift the top leg to hip height, take an inhale, pulse forwards for 1, 2, and then exhale, press back. So we inhale and exhale, press. Lengthen that leg away, activate through the glutes to help draw the leg back. Okay, 2 more. Just work within your own range of movement, again, so that you're not moving the upper body, the spine stays in neutral. Bring the legs down, heels come back in line with the hips. About a 45-degree angle behind the knees. Take that inhale to prepare, and then as you exhale, that top knee lifts. Inhale, control, and lower back down. So we exhale, lift up, push between the heels, and inhale to lower. Making sure that that knee doesn't lift any higher than hip height. And remembering to make sure that our core is active. Pelvic floor, deep abdominals drawing in like a corset, pulling in around the waist. 1 more here. And then we're going to go into our bend and stretch, so you can keep the bottom leg bent, or you can have it straight if you want a more of a stability challenge. Top leg to hip height, and then we're going to bend the knee, bring it in front of the body, push back through the heel, point through the toes, get to the end of the movement, and then bring it back. So we exhale, press away, inhale forwards, exhale, press, lengthen, activate the glutes, open through the front of the hip. Okay, and then from here, bring the legs down together, toes gently pointing, core engaged. Take a breath in. On the inhale, we lift the top leg up. On the exhale, we flex through the foot and bring the leg down. So we inhale, reach and lengthen that leg away. Maintaining that position through the upper torso, maintaining that neutral spine. Really reach and lengthen through that leg. Activate those glutes to lift. Controlled lower. Again, not lifting too high here. You're not going much higher than just above hip height. Bring the legs down. So we're going to move on to our front now, ready for the single leg extensions. Feet shoulder distance apart. Hands underneath the head. Base of the pelvis pushing in towards the mat. Tummy lifted. Shoulders stabilised. Take an inhale. And then as you exhale, lift one leg, just hovering it off the floor, and inhale lower. Toes are slightly turned out here. Activate the glute, lift the leg long, and inhale to release down. So we're not lifting very high, it's more about lengthening the leg. You should feel the glutes working as you lift the leg up. And make sure you're not bending the knee. We want that length, really reach the foot away from the hips. 2 more on each side. Last one. Hands in front of the shoulders, we're moving into our Swan Dive. So legs can be slightly further apart. Lengthen the head away from the feet. Core really working here, glutes working to stabilise before we start. And then we're going to take an inhale. On that exhale, press into the hands and extend up. Full extension of the spine if that's comfortable for you to do. Take an inhale. Hold. On the exhale, lower back down, reaching the head away from the feet. So stabilising through the shoulders, take an inhale. Opening through the rib cage, lengthen the head away, hold. And then exhale, releasing down. So we take an inhale. On the exhale, we lift, pressing into the hands, pulling the head away from the feet, feet away from the head. Breath in here. And then exhaling back down. Let's do one more. Lengthen and release down. From here, we're going to come up into our shell stretch. Sit back on the heels. And then come onto all fours for a nice mobilisation of the spine and the cat stretch. Hands below the shoulders. Knees below the hips, back nice and flat to start. Take an inhale, and then as you exhale, tuck the tailbone under and round the back up. Release the head down. Take an inhale here. And then as you exhale, release vertebrae by vertebrae back to a nice flat back neutral alignment. So we take a breath in, we make sure we're connected through the core. We exhale, tucking the tailbone under, moving vertebrae by vertebrae up through the spine, releasing the head down. Take a breath in here. Feel the rib cage expand. And then on your exhale, rolling back down through the spine. One more breath in. Exhale, arching the back up. Inhaling to hold. And exhaling. Engage those abdominals as you come back down. Lengthen the head away from the shoulders. Nice breath in here. And then we're going to tuck the toes under, ready for our next exercise. We want the knees together, and you're just going to press between the knees slightly to get a little bit more activation through the inner thighs. Make sure the hands are really spread nicely apart, a little bit of weight through that little finger. Again, head still pulling away from the shoulders. You don't want to be looking forwards, and you're not looking down towards your tummy. Okay, neutral alignment, breath in, press through the hands and the feet, and then lift up. Take an inhale, hold, and then exhale to lower back down. So I want you to think about your abdominals lifting you off the mat as you hover the knees. So breath in, exhale, engage those abdominals and lift. Breath in and stay. Breath out to lower back down. And again, activate through the core, pelvic floor, lift. Hold for that inhale, and exhale, release. So we inhale here to prepare. On the exhale, we come up. We inhale to hold, and we exhale to lower back down. One more. Breath in and then exhale, activating the core, scooping those abdominals in. Breath in to stay, and then breath out to lower back down. So we're now moving into our swimming prep, and you want your knees to move to hip distance apart. Untuck the toes, make sure you've got some weight through the arms. Take an inhale, and then on your exhale you're going to slide the leg back along the mat. On the inhale, flex the knee and bring the leg back in. So we exhale to slide away and inhale back in. Keeping that core connection, making sure those abdominals are drawing in like a corset, pulling in around the waist. And then we're going to move across to the other side. Inhale to slide the leg in and exhale to straighten the leg. Sliding the leg along the mat. Okay, and then bring the leg down. We're going to move to the arms now. Try and keep your gaze straight down to the mat rather than watching what your legs are doing or your arms are doing. So now we're going to bring the arm out in front and then lower it back down. Just work within your own range of movement at the shoulders. So if you feel like you're going to get a little bit of a restriction, just stop at that point rather than change the shape of the spine. And hopefully the more you do the exercise, the greater range of movement you will get. One more each side. And then we're going to move into an opposite arm and leg movement. So we're going to take an inhale to prepare. On the exhale, we slide the leg back and the opposite arm out in front. And then we inhale, bring them back in. So we exhale, slide away. Inhale, back in. Really reaching the arm and leg away from one another. But keeping that core nice and tight so it's supporting the spine. Using that breath as well to help get that connection with the abdominals. And then we're going to just do one more each side. Excellent. Okay, into press up position now. So you can do this with your knees bent and your back flat, or if you want a little bit more challenge, just take the knees slightly further bent back. Bring your body into a nice straight line from the shoulders through to the knees. We're going to take an inhale and lower for 1, 2, 3, and then exhale and press back up. So we're going to inhale and lower 1, 2, 3, exhale, press back up. Inhale down 1, 2, 3, exhale, push back up one more, 1, 2, 3, and exhale, push back up. Just release back into a shell stretch. We're now going to move into a spine stretch forward. Again, if you have a cushion or a block that you can sit up on to help the alignment of the lower back, then do. Again, you can have your legs crossed, or for the spine stretch forward, you can also have your legs out on a nice wide diagonal. Do what's right and what's comfortable for you. Arms are just going to rest between the legs. Sit nice and tall. You're going to take an inhale. And then on your exhale, I want you to flex forward, moving vertebrae by vertebrae. Go as far as your range of movement allows. And then just take a nice deep breath in here into the rib cage. And then on your next exhale, just roll up through the spine, restacking each vertebrae one by one. So it's a breath in. We exhale, flexing forward over the legs. Take a nice 3D breath into the rib cage, releasing. And then on the exhale, activate the core and sit up nice and tall, lengthening the head up towards the ceiling. Once more, breath in. Exhale, flex forward. Keep the pelvis vertical, take an inhale here. And then exhale, extending back up. Great. So we're going to go into our mermaid stretch now. Arms are just going to rest alongside the body. On the inhale, reach one arm up towards the ceiling, and then on the exhale, flex over. You can have a slight bend in that bottom arm. And then you're going to bring the arm back up and place it back down on the mat. So we inhale, reach up. Exhale, flex over. Take a nice breath into the ribs. Bring the arm back up and then place the hand down. So we reach up, flexing over. Breath in. Bring the arm back up and lower it down. Up we come again. Really reaching with that top arm. Reach back up to the ceiling. Place the hands down. Okay, and then we're going to move on to our backs for our last exercise today. So just a nice stretch for the lumbar area. Bring the knees in towards the chest, hands behind the knees, and just hug the knees in. And I just want you to take a nice few relaxed breaths here. So just breathing in through the nose, into the rib cage, and then exhaling through the mouth. Just release it. Inhale into the ribs, and exhale, release. And if you feel you can bring the legs a little bit closer in towards you, then do. Just get a little bit more of a release through the lower back. Just a couple more breaths. And then just roll over onto your side. Bring yourself up into a seated position. Thanks for joining me for the session today. I hope you enjoyed it. See you next time.